Welcome to Eureka Epoch, bringing Urantia book insights to life through storytelling, visuals, and inspired exploration. Subscribe for thought-provoking content. In the heart of Eden's golden bloom, when the garden stood in its fullest splendor, a moment of profound significance unfolded. At high noon, from the courts of Jerusalem, two luminous seraphic transports descended in silent grace. They carried within them the hope of a world, the material son and daughter Adam and Eve. Without herald or fanfare, these celestial vessels came to rest near the sacred temple of the Universal Father. The air was thick with reverence as celestial hosts watched in solemn anticipation. Within the hallowed shrine, unseen forces wove their work, rematerializing these planetary uplifters. For 10 days, energies unknown to mortal minds labored to shape their new bodies, restoring them to the form destined for their divine mission. Then, as one, they awakened, two beings of light and destiny, bound forever in the sacred service of upliftment. It was their nature never to be apart, for Adam and Eve, like all material sons and daughters, were designed to serve together, never alone. As their eyes opened to the new world, the first faces they beheld were Van and his loyal companion Amadon, two steadfast figures who had long safeguarded Eden through the long and trying years of planetary isolation. These were the first to greet them, the first to stand before them in welcome. The language of Eden had been cultivated by Van and Amadon, an evolved form of an ancient Andonic tongue. With great care, they had devised an alphabet of 24 letters, dreaming that it would become the common speech of the world as Eden's culture spread. And Adam, prepared for his mission long before his arrival, spoke to Amadon in this very language, addressing the faithful son of Andon in his own words, a moment of profound kinship and unity. Then, like the stirring of winds before a great storm, excitement surged through the garden. Runners burst forth calling in joyous cries, "Let loose the birds! Let them carry the word, the promised son has come." From hilltops and distant settlements, white-winged messengers took to the sky, their flight a living proclamation of the new age. For generations, devoted believers had tended these birds, keeping them in readiness for this very moment. As the tidings spread, multitudes made their way to Eden. From the surrounding lands, tribesmen and seekers, pilgrims and faithful ones, came to witness the arrival of their world's new rulers. On the northern mound, a great assembly gathered. There, beneath the open sky, Adam and Eve stood before their people for the first time. Van, who had carried the burden of planetary stewardship for more than 150,000 years, at last relinquished his authority. Before the great host of Eden, Adam and Eve took their solemn oath, pledging their allegiance to the Most Highs of Nor-Latiadek and to Michael of Nebadon. As the vows were spoken, their forms were adorned in robes of deep majesty, woven by hands still preserving the fading arts of Dalmatia. A new age had begun, and then, from the heights of the celestial realms, a voice rang forth. Gabriel, the bright and morning star, proclaimed the second judgment roll call of Urantia. His words resounded across the lands, heralding the resurrection of sleeping souls, marking the passage of one era and the birth of another. The dispensation of the prince had ended, the age of Adam had begun. But even as Eden rejoiced, shadows loomed upon the horizon. The planet Adam and Eve had come to uplift remained fractured, uncertain, bearing the scars of betrayal and rebellion. The path before them would not be easy, and trials yet unknown awaited. Yet on this day, beneath the radiant light of a high noon sun, hope stood ascendant, and Urantia's new rulers stepped forward to meet their destiny.